Welcome to our 8th FB live session by the Welfare Task Force for Malaysian Students Abroad. Today we have a very, very special guest with us today. Her name is Arifah. But before we start, for those who are new to the Welfare Task Force, let me give you guys a quick introduction on what it is. We're actually a student-led initiative that focuses on facilitating practical responses to support Malaysian communities in countries all over the world during this unprecedented pandemic. Our various platforms and programs include mental health and well-being initiatives, buddy schemes, and tabulation of data for students all across the globe, all aimed at ensuring no Malaysian student is left behind and no one suffers alone during this challenging and confusing period. Now, Arifah is a very special guest from Newcastle University. She's just graduated. Arifah, could you introduce yourself to everybody?
Hi, thank you, Esther, and thanks Welfare Task Force for inviting me to this. So my name is Arifah Badlishah. I'm almost 23 years old, and I just graduated with BA Honors in Media, Communication, and Cultural Studies from Newcastle University. So yeah, I'm just spending my summer break and looking for employment opportunities in the UK. So yeah.
Oh. Well, would you say looking for employment opportunities is the main reason you chose to stay in the UK during the pandemic?
It's one of the reasons, definitely, but I also have a few other reasons as well. But yeah, one of the main reasons is employment opportunities. But then at the same time, I also want to make the most of my time in the UK before my visa actually expires. But of course, that's my reason now. But initially, when the lockdown started, I had a whole bunch of other reasons.
So. All right, guys, if anyone's listening and anyone got a job vacancy, please give it to Arifah. All right.
I can work in marketing, advertising, communications.
She has a YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah, I do.
Arifah, can you tell us about your lockdown experience in terms of how you managed the transition and care for your mental health? So, a very big changing question.
Yeah, definitely. Wow. I would say COVID-19 has been one of the strangest and weirdest experiences of my life, I would say. I think my whole life was kind of disrupted. I think everybody's life was. I'm sure everyone agrees with that, because I was just spending my last semester in uni, going to classes, and just wanted to write my dissertation and sort of get it over with. But then Corona happened. And yeah, suddenly classes were, the uni said that classes were moving online. The societies and events that I was involved in, kind of they just stopped everything suddenly. Suddenly all my friends were going home. They were going back to Malaysia or just their hometowns or wherever they're from, all over the world. And yeah, I was feeling very lost and I didn't know what to do. I was so everything just stopped and we all were in a very uncertain state, I would say. And I had no idea how graduation was going to go, how I was going to complete my dissertation from home without access to the library and everything. So everything was we didn't know what was going to happen. We didn't know when the lockdown was going to end. We didn't know what the future holds. And so yeah, I had to get used to staying at home. And obviously I was worried about two countries at the same time, both UK and Malaysia. So yeah, it was quite stressful for me in terms of mental health and stuff, because there's so much to be anxious about. There were people fear mongering. They were saying oh, for those of you who choose to stay in the UK, don't wait for the Malaysian government to come rescue you and stuff like that. And I was why would you say stuff like that? You don't have to spread fear like that, because not everyone people have different reasons for choosing to go back home or to stay in the UK. So like I had my own reasons and other people had their reasons for going home. So yeah, I had to adapt a lot, I guess, to the situation.
Sounds really, really difficult, man. Absolute respect to you for going through
Oh,
all of
thank you
that.
so much. How about you?
Why would Oh, me?
Did you
Okay. I'll just take a bit of time for myself. Yeah, I did stay back in the UK till end of May, June. I did my finals during the lockdown period as well, so no library, no nothing. It was definitely very stressful, but
same?
I'd like to hear from you how you got through all of that mental turmoil, that stress. What tips would you give to students who are also experiencing change and isolation, even today?
I would say it's very like shocking and worrying at first, because it sort of feels like you have this kind of balance in your life, but then it suddenly becomes like unbalanced. Like suddenly your whole world is kind of disrupted. So I think you have to really accept the situation. It's not easy to accept a pandemic, of course, but I think at this point, like months after, I think we've all sort of kind of get used to it already. But you have to change your mindset, I guess. You have to adapt to the situation, and um yeah, you have to like get used to the little things like classes online, like social distancing in public, wearing masks, and so on. And also another important thing is to actually keep in touch with your loved ones, because that is definitely very important, especially during isolation when we weren't um allowed to actually see each other.
Hmm.
So I keep touch a lot with people, with my friends, using video call or social media and stuff like that, and just like talk to them, borak-borak with them, so that it feels a bit less lonely and not so isolating. I also had my
Did you
housemates
play like
around.
Scribblio?
Oh, I didn't actually, but I think I watched movies with my siblings and so on. So that was nice. Um,
Sick. Are your housemates still in UK now?
yeah, I'm lucky to actually have housemates in the UK. Technically, I'm sort of in a different living situation from other people. I'm living with kind of a Malaysian family, and they have a spare bedroom because they're like permanent residents in the UK. And I've been living with them since September. So yeah, I've kind of like part of the family already. So it's fine. Like they're not going anywhere. And
Hmm.
that was very reassuring for me, and that was also one of the reasons I chose to stay in the UK, because if I had no housemates, or if my housemates were like going back to their home countries, definitely I would go back to Malaysia as well.
Because we're gonna be like super quiet, super lonely. But it's good that you have a second family over there. We've got some questions from the live stream. First question: do you think it's mentally challenging to stay in Newcastle instead of returning home? Do you think it's more
Um,
mentally challenging?
I think it's definitely a challenge to stay in Newcastle, especially at first, because like we all sort of didn't know what was going on that time. But at the same time, I got a lot of support, because we actually made the Malaysian Society in Newcastle actually made a WhatsApp group where we could contact each other and um send each other resources or info, or just like stay in touch. So that was nice. We had like a group to contact each other for those of us who were staying in the UK. And also from the uni, we had a Facebook group made by the student union, and they would give all sorts of um, resources for like staying, not feeling lonely. They would have like yoga tips, and I think they even did like karaoke nights and stuff like that. And so that was,
Wow.
I mean, I actually wrote a long post in that group talking about how difficult it was for me to transition to the lockdown. And I actually got a lot of comments from other students from Newcastle Uni. They gave like tips on how to stay focused on writing my dissertation and stuff like that. So that was very helpful and that was very nice. It gave me a sense of like community, I would say.
Yeah,
Oh, and not to
that's
forget,
good.
of course, UKC had a Facebook group. For those of you who don't know, UKC is like the what what's the long term for
United
it?
Kingdom, our council.
Yeah, basically it's like a council
Yeah,
for all the Malaysian students in the UK, and also welfare task force, of course. You guys gave like so many resources, so much info on your page as well. So thank you so much to you guys as well.
thank you. I wish my uni would go to karaokeing with me. Don't think anyone wants to hear me sing.
Well,
All
the
right, second
karaoke is
question.
virtual.
Do you think students can get support easily in Newcastle, be it from uni or the Malaysia Embassy or societies? Do you think it was easy to get support based on the examples you gave? I think from the examples you gave, it was pretty easy, actually. Good question, good second question. Let's move on. We also heard that you recently graduated virtually in the UK. Would you like to tell us how it went? Was it everything you expected it to be when you started first year?
Of course not. Of course, I was imagining like a very grand ceremony and like, you know, taking pictures with my family and friends and like going on stage and receiving my scroll and everything. But during Corona, I didn't even get to say goodbye to many of my friends for the last time because we'd had like one class when we didn't know whether the uni was going to continue with classes or not. And then suddenly everyone got an email saying, from tomorrow, there will be no physical classes anymore. So I didn't get to say goodbye to like a lot of people. And yeah, I didn't get the traditional graduation experience, but then I also I celebrated in my own way so that like even if the ceremony was taken away from me, I at least make the effort to celebrate myself because I know I worked hard like during the past few years of my studies. And of course,
Definitely.
like I should celebrate myself. We all should, like all the class of 2020 should definitely celebrate in their own way. So what I did was, the first thing was I did a graduation party at home. So it was just like among my housemates and close friends with like social distancing rules and everything. And we had like a feast and we did like proper decorations and we had like balloons and stuff, and my housemate she even bought a cake for me. It was a very very nice cake. It said like
Oh,
happy graduation
what
on it.
flavor was it?
It was Nutella. Like it was fondant on the outside, but the inside was Nutella, so it was very nice.
It came with fondant. Oh, that's the
Yeah.
fancy kind of cake.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then obviously we need pictures on campus. So I went to the campus and I took a lot of pictures there. And I wasn't the only one. When I was there, there were some people actually bought robes from like Amazon or somewhere, I guess. And they were making like their own graduation photo shoots. Some even like the very malas one, they will just like roll up a piece of paper and like pretend that's a scroll. For
Yeah.
me, I just wore the Malaysian traditional clothes. I wore a kebaya and like I went to the campus and I even brought a Malaysian flag with me and I took like lots of pictures there. And yeah, that was fun
Malaysia
because
represent.
that was fun because yeah, it doesn't feel like graduating if you don't take pictures. And even though if it's not with my family and friends, it's still like something to celebrate my graduation. And actually, there will be traditional ceremonies. There will be, but they're just postponed. So it means like I don't know when they're going to happen, and I don't know if I will be able to attend those celebrations or not, because yeah, we don't know when this pandemic is going to end, and I don't know if I'll be in Malaysia or here, and if I can actually attend the ceremony. So yeah, I just celebrated in my own way, and the uni
We'll
actually
stay
did like,
hopeful.
yeah. So I hope so. I hope I will be able to go, hopefully. But the uni did
I've
do
got a
online
personal
celebrations.
question actually.
Okay.
The uni did do. Okay, wait, continue. I'll ask after um we find out what Newcastle University did for graduation.
Okay, no problem. Sorry. Um
Okay, I'm sorry.
so so there were online celebrations. It wasn't like a live stream or anything. It was just like where lecturers and students and even their family members could upload graduation messages to people. I mean, to the graduating students, so we could like view them. And of course, it doesn't compare to a proper ceremony, but then it's still nice to actually see our lecturers' faces, the faces of our classmates, just like congratulating us and acknowledging the hardship that we as final year students actually experienced during the pandemic. And yeah, it wasn't easy, like finishing our final assessments during a pandemic and being at home with sometimes like the Wi-Fi is not like stable sometimes. And yeah, we all like had our own anxieties, our own worries. So definitely it was a nice initiative from my uni.
Good job, Newcastle. Okay, here's my personal question. Being a 2020 graduate yourself, through all the anxieties, through all the struggles, what would your biggest advice to the class of 2020 be?
Um I think the class of 2020 is very like strong and resilient. Like none of us imagined that we would be going through a pandemic, especially during our final semester and during the time when our most important assignments were to be submitted. So I think if I were to say like advice or a message to the class of 2020 is that I believe in you guys, like I believe in us, and I believe that we can do great things because we have gone through like so many hardships, and we can definitely like practice that throughout our lives, that perseverance, that resilience. And yeah, so all the best to your for your next phase in life, whether it's finding a career or continuing with postgraduate studies, like wherever life takes you, like you will go through it hopefully, inshallah.
Stay strong. Stay strong. All right. We can probably wrap up really soon. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about? Anything else at all you'd like to share with everybody?
I
Free
think
flow.
I think I didn't answer your first question properly just now. I'm so sorry about why I chose to stay in the UK. So do you want me to like elaborate on that?
Yeah. Yes, please. Yes, please.
Okay, um so like it wasn't an easy decision basically to stay in the UK. And a lot of people question it like, why don't you go back to Malaysia? Why do you want to stay in the UK when like you don't know if the health services there will care about you? You don't know how long this pandemic is going to last and everything. But I had my own reasons, which one of the reasons was I didn't want to contract the virus or like risk spreading it to
Mm.
other people, because I live in Newcastle, so I would actually have to go through at least three airports, which is Newcastle, Dubai, and KL.
Mm.
So like I would be going through so many airports and passing through so many people, so I didn't want to like risk getting the virus and spreading it in Malaysia, because then I would be putting my own family at risk, because there's like my grandparents and everyone, so I didn't want to like actually increase the
Understand.
yeah thingy the virus spread. And another reason I mentioned just now is because I'm staying with like foster family, kind of. I mean, I consider them my family already lah. So yeah, it's
You mean
because
Malaysia?
no, I mean in the UK. I mentioned just now
Ah,
that
yeah.
I'm staying with the permanent residents. Like
Mm-hmm.
they're basically an auntie and uncle, and they have one child, who is my age, and I'm like good friends with her. So yeah, they kind of like adopted me as their second child. But yeah,
Thank
it's
you,
been a
auntie and
good.
uncle.
Yeah, thank you so much. Oh my god, I don't know how I would have survived the pandemic without them. Honestly, it's like I'm so thankful for them, because if not, I probably would have gone back to Malaysia. Honestly, because I definitely wouldn't stay in the UK like all alone. So yeah, but another reason was because it felt very like difficult to actually think about flying home, because I was in my final year and I didn't know how I was going to like pack all my stuff. I didn't know like if I go back to Malaysia, do I have to come back to the UK? And I didn't know how graduations and everything was going to work out. So all those things, like, it's very pening kepala if you want to like think of all of that. So I was like, I don't want to think about this. I just want to finish my dissertation, which is like 10,000 words. So it's not easy to write.
Wow.
So yeah, I decided I'm not going to think about this. I'm just going to focus on my assignments and just stay in the UK. And hopefully there won't be any like major consequences. And so far, yeah, thankfully there haven't been any like major.
Seems to me
Like,
that
I'm
it paid
fine.
off.
Yeah, like I'm fine. I actually
I'm glad. I'm glad.
we I mean we can go out. We just have to social distance and everything from other people, but we can go to like malls and everything. And I've been going on like picnics with my friends and just like wide spaces. So yeah, I just wanted to make the most of every second in the UK.
Seems to me like you did. Seems to me like it really, really paid off. I'm super
I
happy for
hope
you.
so. Thank you so much,
Okay,
Esther.
that's all the time we have today. Thank you all
Okay,
for joining us for this live stream. Thank you so much, Arifah. Thank you
no
to the tech
problem. Thank you
team
so
for
much,
handling this
Esther.
Zoom call. Thanks, dude. Stay in touch, all right? I'll subscribe to your
All right.
YouTube channel. Everyone subscribe.
Okay.
Like, comment, subscribe.
It's Arifah Badlishah.
Also, like the
Yeah.
Welfare Task Force Facebook page.
Yeah, like.
Join our group.
Jangan tak like.
Like the Instagram page as well. It's new. Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks
Thank you
for
so
coming.
much.
Join us
All
for
right.
our next live session. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.